Some developing news right now in Myanmar. The country's ruling party says its embattled leader and other high-ranking government officials are detained. The country's ruling party says its leader, Aung San Suu Kyi, and the country's president are among the officials taken into custody by the military. Her detention comes amid rising tensions between her government and the military. As for the military, it claims the November's election, which saw the National League for Democracy form government, was all fraudulent. Elliot Tepper is an international relations professor at Carleton University. He's following this story very closely for us, joins us from Ottawa. Elliot, great to be with you. What do you make of Aung San Suu Kyi's arrest?
It's another sad chapter in the long, sad chapter since independence for the country once known as Burma and now Myanmar. She stood for a long time as the symbol of the democratic option, the only democratic space available in a country that's been under military rule pretty well since its independence in 1948. The background to all this, Anita, as you maybe know, is that her father, General Aung San, was the major leader of the independence movement. He was the great founder of the country, but he was assassinated just as the country got its independence. A couple years of democratic rule, then pretty well nonstop military rule ever since. She happened to be back visiting in 1988 when General Ne Win was retiring, and there was a mass student uprising. She found herself suddenly, basically, unexpectedly, as the leader of the independence, post-independence movement for democracy in Myanmar and Burma at that time. It was crushed. The 1988 movement was crushed. She was put under house arrest. She was pretty well under house arrest nonstop for 15 or 18 years, depending on how you count. Then she was let out. The military said we're going to have a phased plan to return to democracy. They wrote a constitution, their own constitution. She was permitted to run. To the surprise of the military, her party swept the polls in 2010. Then they had another election recently, keeping in mind that she really was very restricted in the powers she had. So before November 8th, the most recent election, she was not in charge of the military or internal security. Those were kept by constitutional mandate, Anita, for the military, and they cracked down on the Rohingyas. They cracked down on something that's been called by the UN and others a genocidal attempt to eliminate the Rohingyas. She, however, caught a lot of the blame for it, and she then led her party to, she led to her party again. They got even more seats. The military-backed party got something like 6% of the seats, of the votes and the seats in the last election. They were supposed to meet tomorrow.
Right.
Or today, their time. It's been canceled. She's now arrested, and we're into a new chapter.
So what is the next chapter, Elliot? Are the citizens behind Ms. Kyi? Is this a situation where we could see some more, for lack of a better word, drama between the citizenry and the military? What happens next, do you think?
We aren't sure. Domestically, she remains even more popular than ever. She caught a lot of grief in the West for appearing to defend the military, even though she doesn't control them in their actions against the Rohingya. She lost a lot of support. In fact, Canada gave her in 2007 honorary citizenship, revoked it in 2018, saying that she didn't do enough to support the Rohingya. But at home, that might have gained her even more support among her Buddhist followers. We don't know where this is going to go, but keep an eye on a couple things. The international support, which has been in the past, seems to be coming back slowly. The EU, Australia, a few other countries.
Right.
What about India? What about China? What about the Southeast Asian states, the ASEAN member states? We aren't sure where this is going to go next. The military says it's only a one-day delay, but I think Burma, Myanmar now, is headed into the unknown.
Okay. Thank you for allowing us to do a deep dive into this situation in Myanmar, or yes, previously known as Burma. Elliot Tepper, International Relations Professor at Carleton. Thank you, sir.
You're very welcome.